No fear. Not over my life. Ghost. Not over my life. Though I walk through the valley, I will have no fear. The mighty power of Jesus is fighting for me. No fear, no fear. The light of the world makes the darkness disappear. Over my life, not over my life. All right. Bueno, I'm not gonna lie to you. You see, the car starts. I ended up getting a P00. Let me show you all the codes I ended up getting. And the codes went away this morning. Yesterday, I had a ton of codes. Well, this is what I had. I haven't done the injectors. I did all the spark plugs, and I did new coils. And I'm getting that. But they were telling me that this one right here, because I did the low pressure fuel pump. I dropped the tank because it has two of them. One in the tank, there's the low pressure, and one over there. I disconnected the one over there, and I filled up the bottle pretty good. Well, this one is the high pressure pump. So I went ahead, and I also cleaned the intake. I'm going to show you guys a few little things. And then I got these ABS codes, but this is only because when it was getting the plug wet, it started messing with that. But anyhow, what I'm mostly concerned about, that 300 code never goes away. I cleaned the intake air filter. Little, I don't know if it's a K&N or what brand it is, but I cleaned it. But I'm going to show you a trick. You see this right here? The variable valve timing delete kit. Well, what you do is you got to do two things. The timing tensioner works through oil pressure. We already know that we got to drill it, and we have to put either a screw. The back is very close to the cover. So I think it's better to do it sideways. Once you let go of the pin, and then you drill, and then you tap it, and like that. And then you don't let it, even if oil wants to go in there, you could either block it off or you could leave it there, but you don't have to do it through oil. They have manual timing tensioners. But anyhow, you can make one yourself out of the one that you have, so the timing is not always getting loose, since it works through the oil pressure and the variable, so people can't continue to change your timing if your car is too loud or etc. reason. But you have to advance it. My car was advanced once I dimple ported it. It got quieter. I went from 21 degrees. I have all the spark timing and the freeze frames there to 26. And then now somebody, I don't know how, but it went to 4.5. I'm guessing that something's weird because I've never done any of that shit. But I want to show you this delete kit. Let me turn it off. It's running good as hell. Everything is perfect. But I want to show you something. Ow. I'm healing. I have a little problem health-wise. So anyhow, I pulled out the fuel from the low pressure, and it came out perfect. This is what came out of there. I was thinking about doing the injectors, but no, this morning, is every day this car is giving me an issue and an issue. But anyhow, okay, I went with a UPR 0 to 100 PSI check valve, ball check valve. It's not that little spring or the little flap that moves around. So today I cleaned up this one. I put a soap, I let it dry, put it back in. Now, the good thing is that I already did the. I'm not getting no crankcase pressure with this. So I haven't blown a valve cover gasket. They stopped calling the rescues over here in Miami at me. But you see this? There's the intake variable cam timing, and this is the exhaust variable cam timing. Well, what happens is that since it's variable, it starts moving it. Well, what you do is you get the solid gears, or you use those same gears, which is like some people use D23 on the chain or D25. You got to check which one are you. But anyhow, you get these because the Fusions and everybody else is a little different. I know everybody likes to use the 4-pore heads or whatever, but it all comes down to one. But anyhow, this right here, I'm having an issue sometimes where I just want one timing. I understand that variable makes you more economic because you can always change it, but it also causes more issue. Now, I remember when I did this valve cover, I checked the chain and the chain had a little slack. I had showed you on the video. So I figured out how to do a variable valve timing, VVT, delete, massive sells the kit, and some other people, or you could custom make it, like get the cam welded so it cannot move. You have to advance it one tooth. They recommend always advance your timing because that's where you're going to be at. I like to go to 21, 22, even 26 degree. I've heard of people going 33, but like I said, in the track, they got slower, not faster. Because you have to see what you're, how much you're feeding it. Remember, air, fuel, and electricity. Provide those in the biggest amount you can. You shall be golden. Just like people that are getting this throttle body and using the EcoBoost Mustang because it fits right in. The only thing is that you have to get an extension for the plug because instead of being on the top or the bottom is opposite from each other, so it doesn't reach sometimes. But if it does, there you go. You just swap it out from a 57 millimeter. You can go to a 63, a 70, etc. Whatever. They sell them for like even $50. Pero that's because everything here is controlled. The idle air control, basically your TPS and everything is computerized here. So that might be another issue why my AC. But back to what I was talking about with the timing. I'm having an issue where sometimes I have different timings, and it's because of these shits. I did leave them on there. I do not like it. I do not like it at all. I've always been used to having one timing, and that's what it is. Whether you advance it, whether you retard it, if you're throwing nitrous and high compression, etc. I did lower the compression on the pistons when I dimple ported it. Dimple porting has created my car to be lower, so that's why I could give it 5 more advanced timing, and it actually ran really well. But the issue that I'm having is that my timing chain keeps on getting loose because the tensioner is driven with oil pressure. A bunch of shit here is driven with oil pressure. So what they do is that they do that delete. It's a delete, and then you have to program it or whatever, so it doesn't do it. I've now unplugged the intake at least. They said some people even use 2 exhaust cam phasers here for some sort of reason. I remember when I first bought it, this one wasn't working. And remember, after I put this, I started getting the leaks and I started getting a bunch of stuff. But anyhow, well, I'm getting like if I got back coils and a bunch of stuff. They call this the EGR delete, the Symposer. That is so it doesn't make noise or whatever. The vacuum that I actually had, I'm letting it vent off like how everybody does. Off of that one, block off this one. The 3.5 bar metric in the intercooler. But anyhow, so you have to it's best when you want to go to like 1,000 horsepower, 900 horsepower, 800 horsepower. You have to delete this variable valve cam timing. One, that the tensioner is going to get loose on you, and when it skips timing, that's when you're going to have head problems. That's one. 2, you're going to bend valves and shit, and then you're going to crack the head. 2, the chain tends to get loosened because, like I said, the tensioner works. It has a port of oil that feeds through the back. Now, it'll be good to like drill the back and put like a screw. Like if you look at the manual tensioner, you'll be like, damn, why didn't they do it like that? That is by screw. It's by screw. But anyhow, so these right here will be good to delete and make it a VCT. That's what they call it. And then you can have yourself a reliable. And then if you go to 1,000 horsepower, there's somebody that says that he's pushing 750. One of these, the most I've heard was 610. A guy from Canada and stratified. I seen these below in the dyno when they try to put real power to them. This doesn't hold power. Just like when I upgraded to that, look, all the leaks, everything, thank God, stopped. I ordered this because what's happening is that I'm getting long crankings. That's why I can't work. Besides my health issue. because I'm like Jordan. I work with health. I have a fever and I'll still go to work. But anyhow, I'm having a little health issue, private. But this one looks like if it got swapped out because the Ford one that I ordered, it lifts up. But basically, yesterday I started it and it started giving me a red line, like if I was two-stepping, but really bad, at 3,000 RPM. So something is up with it. Right now it's running good. Today I woke up this morning, everything was fine. Like I said, if you're trying to give it, I'm gonna put a brand new one, like because my fuel pressure dropped from 561. The one in the tank, I just recently did it on New Year's. That everybody was blowing firecrackers while I was doing that shit. So I did that one already. It's a precision. The one on the lower tank of this one. I got it at O'Reilly's. But anyhow, and I paid extra for that good one with the model, and it comes with a new fuel filter. But anyhow, it's getting filtered to here. I took this, where is it at? This one right here. I took that one off. That comes from the tank, the lower, and it filled up that bottle that I have over there full of fuel. This one right here, I just ordered it because I've never done the high pressure, and they say that one's the one that tends to give you that P0. This code P00C6. I've never done it. Well, like I was like driving, and then it was just like nose me, like woo, and I'm like, yo, what the hell? Another thing, I'm not too convinced with the way they set this up, but I did clean the filter. It hasn't gave me no more issue of, because they say that the P0300 code, it hasn't gone away. Now, when I went to do a DTC, it says 0 DTC. In the beginning, it gave me 6 codes, and then it went away. It gave me 3 of these, 2 of these, a permanent and a pending, 1 of these, because this cylinder 2 and this cylinder 3. So it gave me 3 of these that I put the 3 over here, and 2 of these of the P0303. The high pressure fuel pump, I'm already going to get it done because my pressure now is at 355 PSI, and I don't know why, but I'm at 4.5 degree timing advance. I have my shit at 21 when I first bought it from Nick, the guy that drives the Lambos. If you guys, and he loves Plaids, Tesla, the 1,000 horsepower. That one, yeah, that one will get this one. But I'm not gonna lie to you. You see these codes right here? They haven't stopped going away. People say no spark plug coils. Bullshit. I've done all the spark plugs and all the coils a week ago. That's all bullshit. And I could even show you how many sets. Look, I bought this car basically last year, and it's been more stopped than running. And the engine, like I said, I built it. Look how many spark plugs I've already gone through this car. Believing people what they say, that the codes. Look how many coils. The MSD coils are right here. And look how many sets of spark plugs. From the coldest, no, when you go to colder. Now, you go to colder and you'll lose energy. You go to colder if you're going to throw 7,500 horsepower, even 2 steps colder. And not so cold. Usually people go down 1. There's the PCV. I have it there just in case because I'm running a high flow one. I ended up buying this vacuum and pressure machine to bleed the clutch myself. So basically the car is running right now. Everything is fine. Just sometimes I'm having long starts like da 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 da, and that's usually the fuel pump. So that's where I'm at right now. And I'm hoping to God, I was gonna buy a new this to see if this has to do anything with the idle air control. That why it's not letting the AC run while I'm driving is fine, but as soon as I stop, the car wants to turn off. Is why I haven't been able to do Uber rides or none of that shit. Everything else I have done. New battery, literally. You could even see, because I used to work at Interstate Battery. Over here, you can see the little dates on it. This one, I just recently got it. So brand new battery. Brand new alternator. That's a 110. I'm going to put a 250 amp. They have even a 320. No, they have a O'Neill News or Reese or whatever. They got a 600, a 680, or 800 amp. That's if you're gonna run, but you don't need that much. With 320 or 250, you're good. With 250, you're more than good. I put this sensor here too, the high pressure sensor, because basically I was getting a low pressure on the fuel rail. But where that bolt goes right there, that metal pipe that goes that way, it comes up to here to the high pressure fuel pump, and I'm getting fuel here because I disconnected the line that goes in from the tank, and this is where it comes out. So something here is messed up. Now I've also touched this, and this has been sometimes boiling hot. It has a solenoid back here where this plug goes in. That's the solenoid right there. So I'm doing things little by little. The good thing is that I'm not getting no more that big old oil leak. That was bad. I was losing all my oil. Now all my oil is there. The car is running delicious. I'm not gonna lie to you. The car is running delicious. But that's the only issue that I'm having right as of now. Even the oil catch can has grabbed a little tiny bit of oil, but usually you empty those out when you're gonna. So I cleaned the whole inside. I'm gonna try to do a box that covers this whole set right here, because since I don't have a inner fender wheel well, I could probably be getting a lot of dirt here. The good thing is that this car already has the ECM relocated. So this car has the ECM relocated. I blew off the other day driving the intercooler pipe. I put it at 22 PSIs. You could go to 25. I don't suggest that's like maximum. People have pushed it even to 30, but then you're gonna let out a big cloud of smoke of oil out of your exhaust. And I don't want to be on that tip. But I blew that off of there, and I was losing all my boost. I finally found all the boost issues. I don't trust that throttle body. I did open it up to clean it. I don't know if you're allowed to do that, but that's what I did. I cleaned it good in there, and ever since I've had issues with the AC turning on. So we're looking at a few things because I don't want to keep buying, and then it doesn't fix the issue. But other than that, the car is running great. The only thing is, it was on the cold start, and about 1 day ago, she started tripping on me. I got extra breathers here, all kinds of stuff. I got already a little mess in here. Oh, look, I ended up getting this PCV valve too. That is a one-way. So in case if you don't want it down there, because let's say you want to plug and play, you can. It's not really a mission, but after doing the whole motor, the transmission, all the wires. Oh, I was gonna put I forgot to tell you, the whole knuckle, everything. I'm still getting a woo, so I don't know what it is. I did look on the bottom, and I think that the seal is bad of the crank. I did put this right here. This is called a voltage regulator. It has two magnetic coils to recharge it. It does work. I only installed it to take a look at it. It'll tell you where you're, but it's telling me Latino too much. So basically, that's where it goes. It goes on the end from the alternator plug, which is the exciter. The positive, I have 3. 2 of them are negative, and the purple one is positive in the middle. That's where you put it. I don't suggest you play with fire. It has a little built-in rectifier too, capacitors. So I don't want to do it because I'm not gonna lie to you. As soon as I did it, she ain't like it. The battery light turned on, so I took it off because I don't want no problem. I am getting good voltage. I'm getting 14.6, 14.3. Usually on my semi truck, I'll get 16 if I'm using the rheostat, or I could push it to 18, but I don't like to push it to 18. So I keep it under. I mean, you could put the battery in series, But then you start having all kinds of things flickering because it can't resist. But because it was meant for a low voltage consumption. But yeah, so if you want to get more power into your car, make sure you delete the VVT, variable valve timing, and you go into one advanced timing and use the VCT either from Massive. Massive has the VVT delete kit. The tensioner is oil base driven, is like oil pressure driven. I don't like it because if you're turbo seal or if for any chance when you're stepping on it, even if you have an oil cooler that can keep your oil bigger and cooler and all that, that shit ain't gonna make a difference. The problem is that where the only part where the N20 or the BMWs get this car and the N26 is that they do have a bigger oil pump than us and an oil pump, a bigger oil pump relief. This car doesn't have any type of relief. This car has potential, but you have to customize everything. It has potential to go to 1,000 horsepower or more. To tell you the truth, you can get this car to go more than 1,000 horsepower. Yes, you can. But remember that you have to dimple pour because you have to create a lower pressure in order for you to give it more numbers. Bring down the numbers of the compression so you'll be able to give it more numbers. The other thing is the timing. You have to work with it. And if you're throwing nitrous or etc. alcohol, because a lot of people are throwing alcohol through the water methanol to cool off the head. So if you don't want people fucking with your system, look, I'll tell you what I did. If you don't like people fucking with your system, you either get a standalone, but then it's gonna be just, or a Fuel Tech. Fuel Tech's my favorite, to tell you the truth. Pero them and the Power Commander. But you see my ECU right here? That has a sentimental value to be able to have it in here. That has a sentimental value to have my ECU right there. So this car has more potential than what people think. The problem is that you got to make it roller bearing or you got to have good oil feed. The pump is this big. And then the timing chain is relying on it and your cam phasers are relying on it. So you need to find a way so you can block all that off so it could keep the pressure where it needs to be kept. And which is basically on the main bearings, rod bearings, and the piston rings. That's it. Everything else that they're doing is all bullshit. The VVT, variable valve timing, delete that shit. Especially the intake. You could use two of the exhaust camming. I remember when I first bought this car too, that the intake one wasn't working. So that might have been a good thing. Pero it was still popping and I'm only down left for the fuel system to do the injectors and the low pressure switch. It's not giving me another issue, but on my timing, I don't like it switching timings on me. I understand, but I was getting more mile per gallon at 21 than where's that at 4.5. I was getting way more than that. I bought me also the timing toolkit. Look at the chain right here rotting. And the guy, the specialist that came, the mechanic or my mom's boyfriend, Jimmy, he looked at it and he told me, brother, you have nothing wrong with that chain. It was a little stretched, but anyhow, that's what it is. So in order to make it powerful, you have to take out the variable valve timing because it's going to be jumping time and then your tension is going to get loose. You have to drill it sideways and tap it and put a screw to hold it. Once you pull the pin and it's in time, make sure you get a badass drill and tap it. And if you could block off the oil entrance. If not, you can leave the oil entrance, but right there, drill it and tap it so the thing cannot push back. The pin cannot push back. That's the only thing. You have to get a badass drill bit from American Fastener and a tap and a screw. Because if it pushes back, that's the problem. The little thing's supposed to hold it on the top, but the little teeth are so tiny that it doesn't hold power. When you're talking about you want to put 1,000 horsepower, because everybody wants 1,000 horsepower, but nobody wants the maintenance on it. So basically, I left it like that. Another thing is, if you want to take out regulators are not going to help you out when you want power. Pero, like I said, I'm trying to like leave this project to somebody else. I'm already fed up with it because I don't feel like working on it anymore. I don't feel like dropping one penny more on this car. Because inclusive, I think it came even in cursive. My dad's also having problems with his Ford. He told me, yo, honestly, man, he's thinking about staying with the Coyote, but we had to backtrack all the wires and the fuse box that he has inside the bus or BCM inside of his Coyote. It has a short because the problem is that the old boy was looking at okay, when you disconnect the negative of the battery, when you disconnect the negative on the battery and you plug it in with a test light, you plug it in the negative terminal to there. You don't put it in to check the positive. No, none of that. You put it you disconnect the negative and you connect it there, the test light. And you touch the negative of the battery is lighting up. So there's something staying on, and that's why the car is pulling juice. So we backtracked it to the plug where it finally turns off when we get to the fuse box. So there's a short in his fuse box, we believe. So we're fixing the Coyote for him, the Coyote pickup truck, or I don't know if he's gonna get rid of it. He has a 3.5 EcoBoost, and he has cam phaser problems, and he does not want that big ass work. With 80,000 miles, it's already giving that issue. So he's like, yo, honestly, this is. I told him about the variable valve timing delete, pero that's the only thing that you could do to it. So they cannot control your timing. Basically, the solenoid of the intake, you bypass it. And on the cam phasers, you either get them welded or you get solid gears. And the timing chain, the tensioner that pushes in, you have to, as soon as you let go of the pin, the top and the bottom is time. Remember, the bottom has to be top dead center or a little bit before, etc. Well, anyhow, you put it on there. You release this pin. You release this pin, and as soon as it's in time, you gotta basically drill where the frame is, either so it doesn't go back on the timing tensioner or exactly right where it's at in the middle. Drill through all that, tap it, and put a screw. You could even put a pin if you like, but a screw it so it has threads so it doesn't fall out. That's what you do, and it'll never push back again, and your chain will never get loose again or change timings on you again. So there you have it for the guys that think that they know it all. That's what you got to do to modify this car so you don't have a timing chain issue. So one day is in good time, and the next day you're like, damn, and then sometimes you feel the power and sometimes you don't. That's what it starts fucking with your mind. So what it is the variable valve cam timing. Now remember, when you advance, it's going to get so much louder. Just like if you do a PCV delete, your car gets louder because it can breathe now. Breathe, and now you have it in time and advance where it's not switching back and forth with just one good time. That's it. So there you have it. That's the trick to these because they couldn't come up with that now. Another good trick would be if you could get a keyway pulley. Like I said, if you want to use your stock cam phasers, you could weld them. Make sure that they do not move. That they're solid, and just go up a tooth. I'm tired of it already. There's tricks to it and a bunch of stuff, but it keeps on pulling money. And to make it smoke, you already know. You delete the PCV. If you don't want it to smoke, I don't like it to smoke. You go like that. Because if you put a breather, you're going to have a vacuum leak. Even if you're coming in and going over there because it's still coming out. Unless it has a check valve on the breather. That like a one-way check valve. So this car has potential. If you guys want to take it off, it's for sale. It has a Manly built engine. I'll tell you the rest of the things, and I'll give you a bigger turbo. But you're gonna need some helical gears in the transmission. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't think those clutches hold any real power. So you're gonna have to go with X clutch or Clutch Master. But you have to get the basket with 2 clutches. And if you can get them titanium, even better. If not, you're gonna have to stick with the ceramic ones. And a magnetic throwout bearing. But I've already had it with this car. I will paint it. I will paint it. So if you're interested, hit me up. I'm over here in Miami. The car runs really good. It has now 310 miles. From the fresh build. Basically, it still hasn't even broken in. Everything works.